Hi, this is Silvana Mesco and Noelle Vanderhook, and this is our presentation on the community around Park Ridge Elementary School in
For the ethnographic description, we analyzed the city of Corona compared to California, and then we compared the specific part that Park Ridge Elementary School is in Corona to the more general population. And we found these on greatschools.org and on the areavibes.com to find the demographics. Our school is predominantly Hispanic with very minimal white, Asian, or African American students. And the gender is split right down the middle, and it's about 50-50. And students that come from low-income families are about 89%. So our school does offer free lunches and breakfast for our students. And approximately 56% of our students learning English. And we both are doing our student teaching here at Park Ridge Elementary School, so we get to experience them firsthand. I have about 20 students, and 9 of them are English language learners, and Silvana has about 20 students, and about 14 of hers are English language learners. So we have a very high population of English language learners. We are in the primary grades, though, so none of them have been redesignated, and we do have to make a lot of accommodations for our students. For the city of Corona, it's a pretty big city, so the general Corona ethnographics do not represent our school necessarily. So that's why we included both our school compared to Corona and compared to California. Corona does also have about a 1-to-1 ratio for gender, so that does equal the same thing as Park Ridge. Whereas about 28% of the people in Corona speak Spanish, with 29% of the people in California speaking Spanish. So it's a little lower if you actually think about the general comparison of all of Corona. And then about 59% of people speak English compared to the 56% of people in California in general. So those are also pretty close. Corona is in the Inland Empire. And the demographics in the city of Corona in general are very diverse. They have about everyone, whereas our school is mostly Hispanic. And the SES also varies in the city of Corona, whereas in our school, it's mostly low-income families.
Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and start to analyze the immediate area and community within our school. We didn't have to go very far. We probably drove maybe 5 minutes down the road to get to know the community that our students are from. One thing that is important to note is the location of our school is a little bit different from what we're used to. We're used to schools and neighborhoods, and this particular school is actually more in an industrious area that's kind of tucked away. Right across the way from the elementary school is a full shopping center with a gym, an Aldi. There's a lot. So it's pretty different for Noelle and I from what we were used to. So if we go ahead and take a look at our first photo here, this is a small shopping center that's about less than a mile from the school. When driving around in this part of Corona, we noticed that they do, in fact, use a lot of Spanish language on the businesses and on the signs around in order to connect with the population that this particular area serves. Like Noelle has said, Corona is a very diverse SES and language and ethnicity, but the particular portion that we're focusing on is largely Spanish. Here is a small shopping center. If you take a look, you can see that most of it is in Spanish. In fact, there's a store called Arcoiris, which in English means rainbow, and I believe it's a money marketing business. Next door, you also see the store Azteca, which is a tourism and travel guide place, and they also utilize Spanish mostly. If you walk up to the storefront, most of the writing on the windows are in Spanish. In fact, on the actual sign that is up at top, it says lunes y jueves, Monday and Thursday. And our students represent an informal bilingual population, and the city of Corona in this general area does a very good job to support families and students that are both English and Spanish speakers.
For our next analysis of our images, we have this area that is directly next to our school. So, as Silvana already said, it's very industrialized and there is a lot of businesses. But the first picture actually represents what is directly behind the school's playground, and it's just an abandoned lot. When we drive there in the mornings or after school, there's plenty of people that just hang around there, and we're not necessarily sure doing what. My mentor teacher actually told me that they had a lockdown 2 years ago because there was a bomb threat that someone said was in this abandoned parking lot. And so they all had to get on buses and they had to evacuate and go to a nearby high school so that they could be as far away from this area as possible. But it was a false alarm, but that's just a general idea of what this abandoned lot, what occurs there. And then the second image is an abandoned house. This is about half a mile away from the school, and it's just an unoccupied structure. You can tell that it's kind of been run down. The window is covered with a piece of wood, and so it's not very useful, and something probably could be made out of it because it's kind of cute, but there's a lot of abandoned structures near our school.
Continue with our analysis of the community. While we were driving around, we noticed a lot of clinics, specific small clinics that were around this portion of Corona. This clinic also utilizes mostly Spanish. If you take a look, the name of the clinic, Clínica Mi Pueblo, is actually in Spanish, and down at the bottom you can see that the consultation word is also in Spanish, and the price point here is affordable. When speaking with my mentor teacher, she had specified that these clinics are exclusively Spanish speaking, so they serve the community. So the receptionist, the doctors, whatever is in there are all Spanish speakers so that they can communicate with the community that is in our area. This business is set up to best serve this particular portion of the community and provide medical services to families that maybe cannot afford expensive healthcare monthly, or that have many children and they add up. And I think the city of Corona does a good job of allowing all of these clinics to be popped up so that families do not feel that they have to go on being ill or fear going to the doctor for expensive medical treatments. So I believe that the city of Corona does a great job serving their community and providing healthcare and reassurance that our community can receive treatments or services that they may need.
We're still on our analysis, and we have 2 more images. So these images also represent local companies that surround the school. The school, as we have said many times, is surrounded by many businesses and a lot of shopping centers. And most of them have signs that are in both Spanish and English. So the first image showcases a mower shop, and it has water and agua on there to communicate what they use. And the second, although it's not very visible, there's also a Corona Cruiser sign with a phone number. And The information below is in Spanish and English. This is so important since many of the members of the community speak Spanish and English. And it's also important because many of our students do take the bus into school, so it's nice that they're using to learn the bus in elementary school, and then as they grow older and they become members of the community and adults, they will also be able to read it in both Spanish and English when they still take advantage of public transportation. The second picture is an insurance company and a law attorney, and it is also in both Spanish and English. It was also just very helpful to see all the businesses that take advantage of both languages, since so many of our students are in an informal bilingual classroom. So we really felt that it was able to help us better understand our students, and we can better accommodate them, and we can also help them take pride in it, since the community does such a good job of helping the students recognize that they are bilingual.
So, Noelle led us right into implications for us in the classrooms and in the communities that's surrounding our schools. For us as teachers, we were able to get a better insight and understanding and grasp of the community that's around us. Like I had said earlier, this particular placement is different from where we have been in the past, which were, like I said, in neighborhoods. So just driving around and taking that 30 or so minutes to get to know our area really helped us to understand the environment around our school and to understand where our students come from. And for us, it was eye-opening, and even though the surrounding area is a low-income area, you don't really get that feel. It feels like as though everybody's in it together. Everyone's kind of helping out. There's a huge sense of community, and the culture of our students are represented very well. And I think this is great for the families. They are in a comfortable place, and they feel as though they are part of a community, and they feel as though they can just freely express themselves. Families and the city of Corona are doing this through the use of many languages, as you have seen through our photos, how the city of Corona caters to that and makes everybody feel very comfortable. It's very beneficial to the students that live in that area, to the families that live in that area, and taking the time to drive around has helped us immensely with taking these things into the classroom and understanding where they come from.
Thank you.